Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to the lecture on data visualization using ggplot. In this lecture, we are going to see what the package ggplot2 is about. We will also take a look at grammar of graphics and the basics of plotting using ggplot, followed by which we will see how to add multiple layers to a basic plot that has been created using ggplot2 package. And we will also look at some of the advantages of using ggplot2 over conventional plotting. So ggplot2 is basically a data visualization package for R. It was created by Hadley Wickham and Winston Chang, and it is based on the implementation of Leland Wilkinson's grammar of graphics. So let's understand what grammar of graphics mean. Now the book Grammar of Graphics basically contains a grammatical set of rules to create perceivable and comprehensible plots. Now these rules can either be mathematical or aesthetic based. Now whenever you have a mathematical rule, they are used for symbolic representation. For instance, you have points or lines, and whenever you have aesthetic rules, they involve color, shape and size. So let's see what are the 6 components of grammar of graphics. The first component is data, which is a set of operations that creates variables from data sets. The next component is trans, which is for variable transformation. For instance, if you want to make a certain variable exponential, then that would be considered as a variable transformation. The next is the scale transformation, which represents either proportion or percentages. So let's say if you have a certain variable and you want to compute the proportion from it, then you can use proportion or percentage. So that is scale transformation. The fourth component is the coordinate system, which can either be rectangular or polar or any other coordinate system. The next component is element, which actually represents the graphs and their attributes. Now let's say for instance I take a scatter plot, so I am going to represent a scatter plot using points. So I am going to be referring to the points and their attributes. So that comes under element. The last component is called guide, which can either be aesthetic or scale. Now if you have aesthetic guides, then it represents the axis, legends or titles of the graph, and if you have scale guide, then it represents basically the breaks or the crank marks in your graph. So whenever we have a graph where the axis limits or bounds are out of range, then we would like to shrink the range by using a crank mark. So that is scale guide. So basically ggplot2 is a package which is based on the idea that every graph can be built from scratch using the same set of components. So the same set of components refer to the data, the coordinate system and a parameter called geom, which is basically geometric points representing the data points. So these are the 3 basic components for the package ggplot2. So let's see what are the basics of plotting. So ggplot2 is a package name, and whenever you want to plot using this package, all the plots begin with a call to the function ggplot. So if you want to create a plot, then ggplot is the function to use. So the default data, that is the variables, and the aesthetic mappings, they are specified by the function AES, which actually means aesthetic, and the function ggsave is used to save the plots to your working directory. So once you create a basic plot, we can keep adding different layers to this. So let's see what are the different layers that we can add to a basic plot. The first layer that you can add to the graph is called geom. Now this is a layer that combines the data, which will have the x-axis or the y-axis. The next is aesthetic mapping. The first layer is geom. It's a layer that consists of the data, where you have the x-axis and y-axis, considering its rectangular coordinate. So the first layer is called geoms. It's a layer that consists of the data. So you have a chosen data. Then we go to aesthetics mapping, where variables are mapped to the aesthetics of position. If I have a data set and I have my variables in mind, then I just want them to map them to a certain axis. So let's say I have rectangular coordinate system, also called Cartesian coordinate system. So since this is a rectangular coordinate system, I have a x-axis and a y-axis. So I'm going to map the two chosen variables to x-axis and y-axis respectively. The third component under geoms is also called a geom, which actually means a geometric object. Now, a geometric object is basically a geometrical shape that will represent the data. For instance, if you take a scatter plot, we would represent each data point with a point, correct? And if you have a line plot, then we represent the data using lines. Similarly, if you have a bar plot, we represent the categories using a bar. So this is what it means by a geometrical shape. So depending on the type of plot that you are producing, the geometrical shape will also change. The next component that a geoms will have is called a stat, which is a statistical transformation. Now these are basically statistical summaries of the data that can be plotted, such as quantiles, or if you want to fit a curve or have sums or counts or bins, then all these fall under this layer. The last layer under geoms is a position argument. Now whenever we have a need to tweak the position of a certain geometrical element on the plot, then you would be using a position adjustment. Now this is most common in bar plots where we want to stack the bars together or one over the other. So in such cases, I would be using a position adjustment. So typically all these geoms are created using the function geom underscore the type of the plot. So let's say if I want to create a scatter plot, I'm going to be using the function geom underscore point. If I want a bar graph, then I would use geom underscore bar. So geom underscore is common for all these functions, but depending on the type of plot that you want to produce, you just have to plug in the corresponding term. So this is as far the first layer goes. The first layer is geoms and it has many sub-layers to it. So let's see what is the second layer. So the second layer is called scales. It controls the details of how you want the data points to be translated to visual properties on the graph. Now let's say for instance, if you want to control the range of the plot, then you can do that by using x limit and y limit. So this is a scale that you are setting on the x-axis and the y-axis to define the limits for these axes. So this is a scale based layer. The other is to add a label to these x-axis and y-axis using xlab and ylab. Now that will define a description for your x and y-axis. Now that's more of aesthetic mapping again, because you're giving a description to the x and the y-axis. Whereas when you use x limit and y limit, in that case you're trying to restrict the range of these axes. The third layer is called faceting. Now what it means is when you have multiple variables, then you want to partition your graph in such a way that it looks like a grid or a table, where each partition also corresponds to a subset of data. Now you can do that by using the function facet underscore grid. So in the coming lectures, we will learn how to do faceting. The fourth layer to a ggplot graph is called the coordinate system. It determines how the x and y aesthetics combine to position a certain element on the plot or on the graph. Now the default coordinate system is the Cartesian or the rectangular coordinate system. The example is quad underscore Cartesian. Quad underscore is going to be common for all coordinate systems. So that's a term that's constant. You follow it up by the respective coordinate system that you want to use. So by default, it's a Cartesian coordinate system, but you can again change it based on what your need is. So these are the 4 layers to the ggplot graph that I have covered. Now apart from these 4 layers, there are other layers as well, and I have linked the actual documentation where you can find what the other layers are. So you can always go back and explore. But for now, we are going to be looking into these 4 layers. So now, having learned what grammar of graphics is about and what are the different layers that you can add, now what is the need for having a specific plot that's entirely dedicated for data visualization? So let's try and understand the advantages of using a ggplot2 package. Now when you use ggplot2, it will help you in condensing statistical information and also identify trends and relationships. Now this is very important because whenever you have a large amount of data, you want to condense it and bring it to a more understandable form. So ggplot is going to be very useful in that case whenever you have a large amount of data and you want to get a visual summary out of it. The next advantage is that it's very easy to use and it's also easier to iteratively update a plot by changing one single parameter or a feature at a time. So whenever you want to change or play with a few features, you have the liberty of changing one feature at a time, and this can also be done iteratively. The grammar that's behind the ggplot2 package is very useful because of its high level aspects in data visualization, and it can also be used to identify the right context for data visualization. The last advantage is that it has the ability to accommodate multivariate data through faceting and aesthetic mapping. So whenever you have a large amount of data and you want to incorporate more than two variables, so let's say we have a Cartesian or rectangle coordinate, we know there's x-axis and y-axis, that leaves two variables out, right? And with the remaining variables that you have, you can incorporate them into the graph as well by either using color, shape, size or opacity. So there's a lot of scope to include more than two variables in a specific graph. So that is the power of ggplot2 package. So let's see what we've learned in this lecture. We looked at a brief introduction to ggplot2. We also saw what grammar of graphics is about and what are its components. We looked at the basics of plotting and how to add multiple layers to a basic plot or a graph generated using ggplot. Now we can add multiple layers to ggplot. So the first layer would be geoms, and then we looked at scales, coordinate system and faceting. So we've covered only 4 layers, but there are more layers into it. Now we can add one or many layers to a basic ggplot graph. Now the most important layers are geoms, scales, coordinate system and faceting. We also looked at what are the advantages of using ggplot2. Thank you.